Hello Flutter developers. My name is Vivek and welcome to my YouTube channel. So we are going to develop an autocomplete example actually. The Flutter has an autocomplete widget which will give you a result something like this. So let's say I am typing in Michael. Okay, so I am typing in Michael. So it will return me a Michael along with his photo. Okay, let's say if I type another keyword, so it will return me all the matches possibilities from that list. Okay, so we are going to develop this small application, you can say. We will fetch this data from internet and we will search, or we will do the filter from that list actually that we are getting from the internet. Okay, so for this I have created a simple project, a basic Flutter project with the basic create command. Basically for this we need a two package. One is the HTTP package and another one is the Google Font package. Google Font package is an optional package. It's on up to you. If you want to use, you can use, or you can escape this package with the text example class. Okay, so I have created a simple class here, a stateful class here, which I have given a name autocomplete example, and I have mentioned that class in my material app as a root screen, or you can say as a primary screen. Okay, so I have done this much so far. To save the time actually, let me tell you some quick things actually. So I have a users request response.in website to get the list of users from the API actually. So this is a free API. You can also use this API. I will drop the link into the description, and you can create a class of that JSON using the JSON to Pojo website actually. So I have already did that to save the time. So I have created this class using the website of this, and I have used the API of this site actually. So you can copy this too, or you can already get ready for this for saving the time purpose actually. So let move on to development part hour actually. So first we will create a basic skeleton. Okay, so I'm not doing any new things, just I'm taking a safe area. I will pass a container. Okay, I will give a small padding. So let's say of a padding 16. I'm giving a padding of a 16. Let me refresh to this. Okay, so as you can see, our screen is completely blank as of now. Okay, so let's do a few things. First, we will create a function which will take a response from our API actually. So let's create a function. Let me name this function as get data from API. Get data from API. So this will gonna be a async function because we are going to use the await. Okay, so let me import the package. So we can, as we are using the HTTP package. So I'm using the HTTP package. So as this API is a get API. So let's copy this API and call the get method of the HTTP function. So this get function requires the URI. As you can see, this get function requires the URI to enter the URL. So we will pass the URI. Okay, what I'm doing wrong here? URI dot parse. So we have to use URI dot parse here. Okay, so we will use URI.parse here. Okay, so let me store the response of this. Function written by this function get into a variable called response. Okay, so let print out whether we are getting the response of our this API or not. So for this we can use response dot body method actually, a body variable, or you can say the yes. So this will return the response written by this API. So I have printed that response, and to check whether our function is working or not, we can call this function in our init function of stateful. Okay, so let's refresh one more time. So as you can see, we are getting the response in our console. It means we have successfully integrated our API in our Flutter application using HTTP package. Okay, so now let's use our user model class to parse that response. Okay, so for this I will import that class and I will show the two class. One is the data class and another one is the user model class from this. Okay, I import the wrong one. User model. Okay, so we will take data and the user model class from this user model file or class. Okay, so first we will create a local variable. Okay, so let's create a user model local variable, user model. Okay, and we will use a set state to set the value. So what we can do a user model equals to user model from JSON. We can use JSON function, we can use JSON class. Okay, let me import that. We have to do import of this dart colon converter. Okay, we have to import that to use a JSON.decode actually. So we can pass our response. So JSON.response that we are getting JSON response. This variable we are getting the data in this response variable. Okay, so as of now we did nothing. We have just created a function to get the data from the API. We have used HTTP package to get the data from this API, and we have stored that variable. We have stored the data into a variable. Okay, and have called that function into our init state class actually. Okay, so as of now we did nothing. Okay, let's move ahead. So to use the auto class feature or auto class widget of a Flutter, we have an you can say a inbuilt widget which is an auto complete. Okay, which takes a type. So which type of this auto function will be? So let's say we have a type of our JSON model. So which is in our case this is an user model, but our iteration will be based on this list of data class. Okay, so we will use the data class. Okay, so we will use the data class. You will come to know later why we have used the data class, not directly the user model class. Okay, so I have created, so till then. Okay, so we have an the following functions right here. So we have one is the option builder. Okay, this option builder basically will check whether the given string or the type string is matches to our response or our list or not. Okay, display string for option. This is very interesting. I will show you a demo in a couple of seconds. Okay, field view builder. So this is basically to customize your text field actually. So whatever you are typing in that search field, you can customize that with this field view builder actually. Then later on we have an onSelect. OnSelect is the callback which whenever you click any one of the drop down which is coming by typing, so that you can get in that value you can get in your onSelect callback actually. Then we have an option view builder. Actually this is to customize our drop down. So don't worry, we will look one by one all this to create a beautiful auto search filter drop down. Not auto, that will be a manual. Okay, so let's create first the option builder. So option builder, so let us check what auto builders take actually. So option builder takes a text editing value. Okay, so let me define text editing. Okay, text editing value. Okay, so now here we will return, okay, we will return user, we will return user model dot data dot where element dot first name dot to lowercase dot contains value dot text dot to lowercase dot to list. Okay, so let me add a null checks here to avoid this null safety error. Okay, as you can see here, I have iterate through a data which is present over in user model class. So it will check whether the element of first name contains the value which we are typing. Okay, so this value will return a data which we are typing into the text field. So this will compare which are the items which are matching with this value actually. So this will return a list of that variable. Okay, so let me just refresh this once to check the demo. Okay, so here as you can see, we are getting all the data, but we are getting the instance of a data. We are not getting the actual value. What's the actual value is it? Okay, to solve this actually we can use a display string for option, where it takes a variable or the type that we have defined here, autocomplete type that we have defined here, and we can tell this variable to which value to return. Okay, let's say if I want to return the first name actually. Okay, so as you can see, it is showing the first name only. We can do one more thing actually here. Let's say if we want to return first name along with the last name. Okay, so let me show you. We can return the last name also. So now if I refresh, you can see here it will showing the first name and the last name. Even though if I'm typing here only the first name, it will return me the last name. Even I can do the same for email actually. Okay, if I type the first character of a first name, it will return me the first name and the email actually. So I can return whatever I want. It will only check the first name, whether the first name is matches with our input or not. If the first name is matches to our input, it will return the data in a drop down that we want. So let's change it to the last name. Okay, so we are clear with this actually. Okay, now we have an on select callback which will return a value that we are clicking here only on drop down actually. So when on any value, if you for any drop down item, if we click, so this on selected function will get called, and this will print, or let's say we can print or we can do anything whatever we want. So for this tutorial we are just printing the value. Okay, so let me print the first name of that user. Okay, so let me refresh. Okay, so let me type the L. So this so showing here the three values based on our L type. Okay, so let me click on second one. So as you can see, I am getting here the first name actually. So you have clicked on the value. Okay, so you have clicked any of the drop downs, you will get that value into the drop down. Okay, now we want to customize this field actually. So we can do that same with the field value builder actually. Okay, so this field value builder, let me check what it takes actually. So as you can see, it takes a build context, text editing controller, focus node, and the callback function. So let's apply that parameters to this builder actually. Okay, so it takes a build context. Okay, it takes a build context. Secondly, it takes a controller. Okay, text editing controller. Then another one is the focus node, and then one is the callback. So let's say on submit, if I give a name of this callback on submit. Okay, so let's return our text field. This will be our customized text field. Okay, text editing controller. Okay, controller. Okay, so let's apply the controller that we are getting from the form view builder. Okay, let's pass the focus node also that we are getting from the form field view builder, and let me customize the few things of this default text fields. Okay, so now as I have installed the I have added the Google font package, so we can use the font library actually. So we are so I'm using here the Quicksand. Okay, so let me choose the font weight. Okay, font weight dot bold. So I have just formatted the code. So this is about the text field. I have passed the controller, I have passed the focus node, I have given a default style. I have changed the default style with the Google font Quicksand actually. So let me refresh one more time. Okay, so let me type here. So as you can see, the font is updated with our Quicksand font. So we can change the default behavior of this. Okay, let me show you something else. So I can add a decorator, input decorator. So let me add some hint text to it. Okay, type here. See, as you can see here, I have added a input decoration of a hint. I have added a hint in from the input decoration, and as soon as now I will type, I will get that data. Okay, the following data. Okay, one more thing that I have observed here, even though I am not typing anything, I am getting all these values actually. To avoid this behavior, we can add one more condition here. If value dot text dot is empty, if the value is empty from this text field, we can actually return the empty list. So this way we can avoid this behavior of showing all the drop downs value at the time of focus of this text field. See, now if I type M, it will show me only the entered value drop down actually, not all the values. Okay, so far we have customized this. Let me recap the few more things. Okay, so we have created a field view builder. Okay, this field view builder will be responsible for customizing this input field. Okay, and we have a build context, text editing controller, focus node, and the callback function. With this actually we can add this text field, and we can customize this text field as per our need actually. Now what if we want to customize this drop down actually? Okay, so we can do that also. We can customize that behavior with option view builder actually. Okay, so let's see how we can do that. So option view builder takes a build context, a callback function, and a list of data. So let's supply that parameter. Okay, build context, callback function, on submit or on select, we can say on select. Okay, on iteratable data, that we can say a data list. Okay, yes, so we are ready here. Okay, so let create our let change this default drop down behavior to our customizable one. So to change this, we will use a default list. Okay, so let me create a basic code structures, then I will explain you that I can explain you easily. So here I'm taking the material widget. In that I will take a list view builder. Okay, I can supply a item count. Okay, so this data list, from this data list I can supply the data list length. Okay, now for this item builder actually, so item builder takes two things. One is the context, another one is the index. Okay, so now let's take a first data from that list. So with we can take that using data list dot element at index. Okay, so with this element at index we can get the first data of our list item. Okay, let's return the. Okay, so we will take a tile list. Okay, list tile it is. Okay, so we will take a list tile. We will pass our title. So for the title actually we can pass data dot first name. Okay, and we will add one image. So we can use a leading parameter to have an image before the text actually. So to display an image I will use image dot network. Okay, so we will pass that avatar. So with this avatar we will get the URL of that image, and we can display before that text. So let me add some more configuration here. Let's say width of 50, height of 50. Okay, let's fit it to box fit dot fill. Okay, so as of now we are good. Okay, so let's refresh this. Okay, let me type something here. See, as you can see now our image is loading, our name is displaying, and okay, now I'm typing. If I'm clicking on any of the one of the item actually, so I'm not getting any print statement over here. Okay, so let fix that also. Okay, so we can wrap this list tile with a Inkwell, and we can use this on tab function, and now we can use this on select callback, on select callback to pass this data actually. So we can pass this data to this on select. This on select will trigger to where it is. Okay, so this on select will trigger to this on selected, and this will print the first name. Okay, so let me refresh one more time. Okay, let me click on Michael. As you can see, we are getting a Michael as printed in our console. So this this is getting printed by this on selected actually. So I will upload this complete code on a GitHub. Okay, so you will find a link of that repository in the description. I will create a package of autocomplete. So as you can see, I have created a package of autocomplete. For the next tutorial you will get a same you can get the same tutorial, or you can get the next video code from this same project actually. I will create another directory. I will add the upcoming videos code in that directory actually. Okay, so make sure you subscribe to my channel So whenever I upload the next tutorial, you will get the notification from the YouTube. And do let me know how much you like this video, and suggest me the next topic that you want me to create a video. Okay, so thank you very much guys for watching this video. Thank you. Bye bye.